So undoubtedly they are sellers. I guess that's where we lead to the conversation of who they'll be selling, who I think is going to be going, who might be sticking around. Clearly, Eduardo Rodriguez and Michael Lorenzen are their two top pitching commodities to be traded. It's interesting because a couple months ago, Rodriguez would have been probably the biggest commodity on the entire market, as he can opt out of his 5-year deal after this season with the Tigers, and was leading the American League, or amongst the leaders in ERA and everything else, until he had that bizarre pulley rupture in his left index finger. He's come back from that, which was heartening. Yeah, he's been pretty mediocre in his few starts back. Certainly no quality starts. Not controlling the zone the way he did previously. So his value is diminished. Although if you look at his season numbers right now, they're still tremendous. He's still got an ERA below 3. But that just shows how good he was before he got hurt. So I haven't read anywhere that he's blaming the injury or anything for the subpar performance so far. He might just need some more time to get back into the swing of things. At least that's what the Tigers are hoping, or they're hoping that their potential trade partners might believe. So I'm a little worried about the value. His value is diminished at a terrible time. On the opposite end of the spectrum is Michael Lorenzen, whose trade value couldn't be any higher than it's been in his entire career. After the All-Star break, at which point he joked self-disparagingly that he was a mid-4, referring to his mid-4 ERA, wondering how he could possibly be an All-Star. He followed his pretty damn good All-Star performance with just fantastic numbers since that point. He's lowered his ERA by a full run. He's now a mid-3 pitcher. He finally gave up his first runs in the first time in 23 innings pitched this afternoon. So he was on a long scoreless streak. He's controlling the zone, and he talked about that in the offseason, how he decided to go to the Tigers because of a past relationship actually with Scott Harris, Tigers GM, back when he was with San Francisco. But more than that, Lorenzen said that he knew the Tigers would make him a better pitcher, and that has happened. And that is a ringing endorsement into what the Tigers have going on with Chris Fetter and the pitching coach and the development system there. So I love that idea is getting out there. It's amongst players. It's not just fans speculating. It's the players are talking about it. And it also gives me hope that the Tigers could trade him at this deadline and re-sign him next year, because I think he has enjoyed his time immensely. This is the best point of his career in Detroit. So he might be coming back next year, even if the Tigers trade him. So
wait, I thought we just talked about if the Cubs traded Cody Bellinger, they probably wouldn't be able to sign him because it sours the player.
Well, you just said he doesn't have Scott Boras as his agent, so it works both ways.
Really? Oh, does it? Okay. Yeah. Whatever's convenient for your discussion at the time.
Well, you don't see any of my logic on either side of this. I mean, every situation is slightly different. It's not one way or the other in every situation that you try to make it be black and white. There are different factors that involve every situation.
But I would agree that it's more difficult to sign the player once you trade him away. It's rarely happened.
Like, it's more difficult. I'm not saying it's less difficult. I'm just saying it could happen. So
anything could happen.
Sorry. Okay. Well, why do we even do a fucking podcast then?
I know, that's what I'm questioning, since that's your logic, that it could happen, that anything could happen. So
I'm going to move on then. I think the relievers might be other trade candidates for sure. I've heard Jose Cisnero might go. I would not be sad about that. He's not going to bring back a whole lot. I think similarly, Chasen Shreve might go. That again, I'm not too worried about that. The Tigers have shown that they can trade away from their bullpen and come back the next year with an even stronger bullpen, as we saw last season. They traded away Joel Jimenez and Gregor Soto, and the bullpen's even better this year with a ones they replaced it with. But that was the back end of their bullpen that they traded. You're a little leery to do that this time, as I really would not like the Tigers to trade Jason Foley, their 8th inning guy, who is a master at controlling the strike zone with high velocity and plenty of movement as well. He's really emerged as a shutdown 8th inning guy and has even had a couple saves this year. But Alex Lang is the one that makes me nervous. I think he might get some. Maybe I don't know if he would get more interest on the trade market than Foley would. Lang started out very well. He's got maybe the nastiest pitch in baseball, the knuckle curve, that is just a devastating pitch, but he can't get it over the plate as often as he needs to. And he's been struggling the last few outings, again, at the worst possible time. But I guess I wouldn't be as devastated if they would trade Lang, just because I've seen so much how he doesn't routinely control the strike zone. It's another long line of Tigers closers that just drive you crazy. Their stuff is incredible, but they can't throw strikes consistently. We've seen that, all the way back to Papa Grande, Jose Valverde. We've seen it with Fernando Rodney. We saw it with Gregory Soto last year. It's a long line of that. And I'm seeing Alex Lang continue that. And I guess I'd like if they can get more for a closer at this moment. I think Foley could step in as their closer and do an even better job. So again, I'm not sure how much they would get for that. I think maybe Lorenzen would be higher, might get the most on the list right now. It's unfortunate that it would seem like a shoe-in that Eduardo Rodriguez might have been the best trade commodity in all of the market, but that is kind of fallen away. That is all I have for the Tigers, unless you want to derail my arguments and the podcast with your thoughts, but we could just move on to the next.
I don't think I'm derailing anything. I'm just pointing out flaws in your different logic. That's all. But we can move on.
Same logic, but
we can agree.
Word Hole Media.